So the bottom line is that if I want to have a good topic, a good question for my research, one way or another, I need to think about a way of making it interesting as a topic. And potentially in a way that it has some interesting aspect for the scientists, for the researchers. Of course, being important and relevant for practice, this is absolutely necessary. But for a good master thesis to be different from a bachelor thesis, that's not enough. I posted a book chapter, actually a paper, which it has been published as a book chapter, back in 70s. It's one of the very interesting classics. It's called That Is Interesting by David. Do not read it. Don't read it. Skim the paper. Go to the section that has these boxes of the arguments and check out the examples. It gives you a lot of interesting ideas of how you can think in a way that researchers find things interesting. And if you don't want to read that, or you say, well, you are the lecturer, what the hell, here, and you don't give me the answer, you just send me to the paper. No, I have 3 shortcuts for you, 3 tips, 3 ways of formulating your topic, your research question in a way that sounds interesting. These are just 3 common, most important ways to me. There can be different ways. First one, I would call it novel phenomenon. Imagine that you say, look, Microsoft recently combined blockchain with open platforms and created something which is completely new. It's like, you know, those archaeologists, those, biologists who go to jungles and suddenly find, wow, there is a whole new species of animal. We never see that. It's so new as a phenomenon, as a thing, that it immediately justifies your research. It's not monkey, it's not gorilla, it's not any of those things. It's something new we didn't know. It's not platform, it's not blockchain, it's not virtual reality, it's something else. Many of us, when we start looking at digital technologies or some kind of digital innovation, we have this feeling that, oh, my monkey is a very special phenomenon. It's a very interesting and unique animal that no one has studied that particular phenomenon. Therefore, it's an interesting thing. Like this example that you put that you see here. It's not from this year, it's from the last year actually. I'm not saying that the novel phenomenon does not happen. No, it does happen. Especially in the digital innovation context. But actually what I would suggest to you to make it theoretically, scientifically interesting, ask this question. What is in this particular phenomenon, in this particular animal, about my monkey that makes it different than other similar or comparable things? It's a very new online platform. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's just one online platform. What's then different? No, this is just recently developed. Okay, but scientifically, it's just another open platform or online platform. And for that, I suggest you a test. It's called Newton test. It's the way I name it. And if you put this test into many of your initial ideas that the phenomenon is interesting, you can actually qualify it and make it much more, let's say, as a scientific question. It's a hard test. And you will see this coming from your supervisors in different words. If I'm your supervisor, I will literally use this as the Newton test. What's the Newton test? Is this. We all know Newton. The fancy story, he was sleeping or taking a nap or studying under the tree. The apple drops. He discovers the gravity law. Right. When was that? Centuries ago. Now, today, I come and say, look, Newton looked at that particular apple. I have a different apple. It's a new phenomenon. It was not existing at the time. Does that happen if I drop it? So it is an interesting question because it's a novel phenomenon. What is your reaction? You smile, you laugh. Come on. It's not apple, but it can be any object. That's the Newton test. Why I am not able to go for a research to check if the law of gravity, which was discovered based on a couple of apples by Newton, back centuries, again, you would say that it doesn't matter, it's an apple, it's an iPad, it's a tablet, it's any object. Within the gravity space of the Earth, you release it, it will be dropped. So this is the hard test of the novel phenomenon. It's a very new platform. Why this apple is different than the other apple? Not in general, in relation to the gravity law. Why coordination on the open platform, which now is released by one company in that particular industry, can be different than the coordination mechanisms on any other situation or any other comparable situation. So to apply this test, you should think about what is your apple that you want to claim as a novel phenomenon. What is the gravity law, in this case, coordination mechanism, and see if the novelty still stands. Is this novel enough for retesting the gravity law? Is your platform novel enough to reinvestigate the coordination mechanisms? Then you go for it as a novel phenomenon. Very often, the topics, the novel topic, the novel phenomenon argument doesn't stand if you really deeply go with the Newton test. Newton test actually has another benefit. You may say that, look, I went to the Google Scholar, I searched platform of X developed by Microsoft 2020. And I saw 3 papers, and they are not actually scientific papers. There is no research on this particular platform existing. There is no research on this particular technology existing. Again, you may say that, well, what is the gravity law here? Do I want to know how this technology is going to be adopted? Do I want to know how this platform will grow? Do I want to know how this platform engages the parties? These are the gravity laws in your case. And then you go and see if anything has been said on that. Very often you may say that, no, actually that's not the novelty of the phenomenon. It's a novelty of the context. Coordination is coordination. But just because here people can't actually see each other, some of the mechanisms of coordination that we have in the real environment is missing here. You may say that, no, actually, I'm not suggesting that this apple will not be subject to the gravity law. But since I'm actually taking this to the space far from the gravity field around the Earth, then the situation might be different. So there is something different about the context, about the situation here, which that law may not be easily applicable, or at least we don't know. But there is a good reason that things may be different. This is often much more feasible and much more powerful than just claiming that you came up with a very new animal that has not been discovered and has not been researched at all. Instead of saying I have a very new monkey, unknown monkey, you may say that, no, I have the monkey, but now monkey is put in a special condition. Instead of having monkey in the jungle, I have monkey in my backyard. I have monkey in my kitchen. I have monkey in front of the TV. Therefore, the behavior might be different. Therefore, it's relevant to study this again. And the last one is about finding paradoxes. Your supervisors will get a very happy face when you confront them with a paradox. Wow. You may say, look, I found a paradox about my topic, which is the usage of artificial intelligence by knowledge workers. For instance, you say, if there is a doctor, there is an AI tool offering the answer how to diagnose the patient. One theory says that this tool will stimulate the mind of the doctor to explore different things, test different aspects, use different information, 1 second, and therefore becomes more mindful researcher, mindful user, doctor. The other theory says that no, actually the AI is offering the answer. The doctor doesn't have much time, will just, confirm the answer of AI and will actually be mindless. The introduction of the AI to the expert work, does it lead to the mindful work or to the mindless work? You have two theories, each of them offering paradoxical answers, paradoxical explanations. Therefore, there is a good reason to go and find it out.